Welcome to Shauna's Avenue, your source for local news that matters. Stay informed, stay connected as we dive in and explore what's happening in Jamaica today, right here on Shauna's Avenue. Proceedings at the St. Catherine Courthouse were today adjourned early due to flooding from heavy rains that lashed sections of Spanish Town. Corridors were left under water from the downpour, which saw persons, including attorneys, complainants, and accused, scurrying to seek a dry area. The water spread into court number 1, which prevented matters from proceeding. This is a very sad state of affairs. This building was renovated about 5 years ago, and now this, remarked a litigant. Court washout, a pure water a run inside here, said another. Persons stated that this was not the first time that the courthouse has been flooded, disrupting proceedings. Several attorneys told the news that steps should be taken to prevent a recurrence of today's events. Meanwhile, several other properties, including a fire station and streets, were also flooded today. The police in St. Anne are probing a case of murder and arson in relation to the death of an 80-year-old woman in Spring Garden in Bamboo on Wednesday. The deceased has been identified as Sylvia Barrett. The police report that about 6:15 p.m., fire was seen coming from Barrett's house by her granddaughter, who lives next door. An alarm was raised and the police and the fire department were called. Residents, including Barrett's granddaughter, tried to extinguish the blaze. Firefighters who arrived on the scene conducted a cooling down operation. The police say the damaged house was checked and the elderly woman's body was seen in the dining room, lying on its back with both hands tied above her head with an orange-colored electrical wire and her feet tied with the same color wire. They further say she also had what appeared to be female clothing tied to her hand over her face and feet. She also had what appeared to light scotches from the fire on her body. The scene was processed by forensic experts and visited by other police personnel from the St. Anne Division. The investigation is being carried out by detectives from the St. Anne's Bay Criminal Investigation Branch, with thunderstorms now hovering over the island. As the Meteorological Service had advised, sections of Mandeville were on Tuesday left impassable following a downpour. The water has since receded, but flooding remains an issue for the central town.
These are scenes from Tuesday after heavy rains left some commuters in sections of Mandeville, Manchester stranded. But what the residents have as a daily weather prediction for the parish has now become a cause for concern, since every time it rains heavily or for an extended period, some areas are forced to shut down. One taxi operator is calling on the authorities to act on the matter, as he says even his vehicle's mudguard was removed while struggling through the water.
The mash up engine, transmission, and all of those stuff, you understand? People can't cross it. Without a truck or van or them thing there, you can't cross it. So here we are going. In a real life, the life is start out look better, brother. What you know, so we can't deal with the thing. Go through freely and thing, even though when the rain fall, you see me?
Around 6 communities were impacted by the rains on Tuesday into Wednesday. Mandeville Mayor Donovan Mitchell says most, if not all, roadways have been cleared or will be cleared by Thursday morning. He says, however, in the Newley area, a pond has been overflowing, restricting access to the roadway. They have since tried to clear the road, but by fixing one problem, they have created another.
Equipment was being used to continue to dig out some of the slush out of the pond that was there. And it seems like the main water main there for the NWC got damaged, and so we had more water coming to the system, and so we had to turn off the main road, the main water there. And so areas of Manchester, mainly George's Valley, Woodlawn Road, Knockpatching, that area they are currently out of water.
The Meteorological Service Met had issued an advisory for a trough over the island for the next few days. But what exactly is causing the flooding? Mayor Mitchell says irregular developments are now a factor.
Persons have either disturbed the natural flow of the water, and because of that now the water is now taking back its course, and so persons are now being affected by the amount of rainfall we had. So we're asking persons as they traverse
Speaking on the frequent flooding of Ward Avenue in Mandeville Town, he says the issue is not so much with the drain, but rather with the bottles and debris that repeatedly clog the system. Some $2.5 billion have been allocated to the cleaning of drains, major gullies, and roadways in the 2024-25 budget.
3 people have drowned in rivers in Portland on different occasions during the month of April. Locals and experts are advising swimmers to know their limits when they venture into unknown waters, which are inclined to change with weather conditions. The latest victim, 29-year-old Javon Abraham's body, is finally found about 9 Tuesday morning.
Oh, how welcoming the waters in Portland, an attraction making a name for itself with growing popularity.
Very, very popular. Nobody really come here when the river come down and still a fight issue. But I tell you, it's well supported. And it just anybody from anywhere, you come here, do what you want, which you not take the location. And if you notice how they set up it, so you attract people.
The welcoming markers pull persons from other parts of the island where the sun pelts and the soil is parched. However, in these eastern parts where it almost always rains, understanding the river is very critical. Deception may have played a role in the unfortunate end to a trip which started out of Kingston early Sunday morning to this location. 29-year-old Javon Abrahams, an architect we were told working between 1.5 to 2 years at a company in New Kingston, was invited to explore the fine location, ending up at the Alligator Church Bridge in the Rio Grande Valley with a co-worker and her friend. Sometime after 5 p.m., his family in Seaview Gardens got the news. The former Calabar High University of the West Indies graduate was not on the return trip. Based on second-hand information, Javon jumped into the murky waters and never came up. As his brother told us, whatever took place was an accident and his only sibling was swept away by the strong current. The wait got agonizingly painful as Sunday night turned into Monday night. Search parties combed the area, desperate for any clue to bring closure to what was now a man missing at the river. The premonitions were strong.
When I go in the water, they ask me St. John, but I say, I feel like the strength of the water will carry him. So I don't more on the river. Yeah. And so said, so done.
Finally, an alarm at about 9 Tuesday morning. Javon's body was found, swept down the river, stopping near the banks in the adjoining community of Seaman's Valley. Relieved but still in disbelief, Javon's brother says their mom is trying to cope with this fresh wound and asks for privacy during these early stages of such grief.
The police have launched a search for a farmer for questioning after his child's mother was found murdered inside his house in Comfort District, Portland on Wednesday. It's reported that about 8 a.m., the body of 52-year-old Merlin White was found in the farmer's house with stab wounds. Investigators say Miss White, who lived in another section of the community, was reportedly visiting her child's father when she ended up dead. Her body was found locked inside the dwelling. They have listed her child's father, Richard Gray, as a person of interest. He has not been seen since the incident. Investigators are urging Mr. Gray to turn himself in for questioning. Buju Banton is back in the United States of America. International record producer DJ Khaled went live on Instagram a short while ago to introduce his brother, who is in Miami, Florida for the first time since his arrest in the state almost 15 years ago. This is legendary. I haven't seen my brother, and I don't think you have seen my brother, and it's been about 15 years since you have seen him in Miami, or what we call the United States. And I just want to say, yo, Buju Banton, welcome back to your second home, DJ Khaled said in his introduction of Buju Banton before panning the camera to show the reggae legend. In response, Buju Banton said, God is amazing, my brother. I want to say enough love to all the people out there. This is Buju Banton. I want to say enough love to you all my fans out there in all the states in the United States of America. Gargamel is back. He continued, It's been a long time, I haven't seen you. It's been a long time my feet have walked on this side. Nothing before the time, and now is the time, so let's get the music going. Let's get the vibe going. Let's pick up ourselves, and let's remember who we are, and let's get lively.
Yeah, 15 years.
A magician.
Magician. You know, my blood no there no, the blood brother there no one family. Lion. See, so I represent the bloodline rich.
I see.
Rowan, long time. Long time I didn't step on them ground. Hey yo, hey. Hey yo, see that? Yeah. Zoe. No. Listen yo. Hey, look at that, the movement. 305. Yeah. 305, the movement. E-class. That boy Buju Banton, he home.